Sometimes you got to get out of Dodge. So I asked someone to dump me in the forest by myself for a few days. I'm taking a sleeping bag, a tarp, a few tools and 20 litres of water, but no food. I was last here 8 years ago with my father Jack and my twins Samuel and James. Day 2. So this morning I'm off to refill from my water cache, and then I'm going to go and try and find a natural water source. There's one marked on the old maps, but the particular map's now 30 years old, so I'm going to go and try and find it. We'll see how we go. If I heard this sound in isolation, I would think it was snow. Just listen to this. It's just dried moss. Thank you, Australian summer. Yeah, you've got snot on your face. Looks better. When you're navigating off track, always pays to turn around and look at the features you've walked past, because if you want to go back that way, you'll be able to look for things like, so if you see over my shoulder there, there's one tall tree in isolation, and roughly behind that is where I'm camped, and down in the valley there's a paperbark tree. That's what I'm heading for now. And to get back to that spot where I could see the big tree, I know that I've got to come around the base of that little spur there, that little forested spur. So if I come around here, I'll end up back on the plateau and be able to see that big tall tree. And now it's just a matter of making a wonky beeline for my water bag. Behind me, you should be able to see the paperbark there at the end of that little stand, and if the resolution's good enough, you should be able to see my water bag hanging up off the ground where the bloody pigs can't get it, hopefully. My microphone connection died here, so I'm going to have to narrate for a while. I've located the creek bed that leads to the water source on the map, and I've followed it for about half an hour. And behind me there's a stand of sedge. May indicate that there's water worth digging for. Sedges also have rhizomes that will yield starch, so carbohydrates, if you have the water to process them. And there might also be some burrowing animals. The creek bed here is mostly bedrock granite, which is more likely to be a source of pooled water and the prospect of finding a nammer. This is what's indicated on the map as the perennial water source. As you can see, there's no water, and there's plenty of evidence of activity by pigs. I'm going to continue up the creek for a little while to see if there might be some more water above me. Not far above Lake Disappointment there I found a small seep. So there was some damp soil and evidence of animals having tried to dig it out. There were some bees trying to get some moisture out of the soil there, and I also found some damp clay, which might have been useful in other circumstances. A little further up from the seep, the creek bed opened out into an open valley with granite on one side and forest on the other. I had a good look around for water, but I couldn't find any, so it was time to head back. Pretty good day, really. Visited the water cache this morning and topped up my water, and then went to the supposedly permanent water site in the nearby valley. Newsflash, there's no water there. I also finally found a piece of timber that isn't split that I can make a maul out of. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. I'm now up to 30 something hours no food, but still hydrated. I've got to say I felt a little bit weary this afternoon, but that's to be expected, I suppose. Another day and a half, 2 days before I get to eat. I would have liked to find some food foraging here, but there's nothing. Last time I was here I found scorpion, big centipede, a bunch of stuff I would have been able to eat. This time there is nothing, and I've overturned lots and lots of rocks trying to find them. Suspect it's because the place has been burnt twice since I was last here in 2015. Alright, see you in the morning. It's been 50 something hours without eating now, and I'm just starting to notice that the blood pressure's dropped a little bit. I can, if I get up too quickly, start to feel a little bit but I still feel okay. I feel positive, feel like I can do things, but I obviously have to pace myself a bit more. I have been doing a fair bit of walking around since I got here. I think if I didn't have to, if I was close to food, I would probably spend more time sedentary. Almost feels virtuous. Well, here's the piece of timber that I found yesterday that I thought might make a good maul. It's maybe not perfect because it is cracked through the centre, but we're just going to see how it goes. This line here is where I'm marking the end of the handle and the start of the hammer, if you like. So I'm going to take this, and all I'm going to do to start with is make this cut the same depth all the way around that I think will leave me with the material that I want to use as a handle. Once I think I've got that about right, I'm just going to place it somewhere secure and going to start battening the excess material away to leave the handle that I want. Alright, so this handle's probably still a little bit big even for a bloke with farmer's paws like mine, and it's probably just a little bit long too. I might take some off, but I'm going to try it out on another tool first before I decide what to do with it next. Don't expect to see any animals after you've done this. It makes a hell of a racket, especially with this wood. This is an Australian hardwood, one of the hardest of Australian hardwoods. Good morning. Well, that's 3 days solo camping, no food, done. Here's my mattress for the last 3 nights. It's grasstree leaves, dead grasstree leaves, and the rocks are just to stop them from moving from side to side too much when I roll over during the night, and it wasn't too bad. All packed up, ready to walk out I've got to say I feel better this morning than I felt yesterday, which is pretty cool. Body's obviously adapting to a lower calorie regime, so it augurs well. The thing that struck me most on this trip was how much the environment has changed in the 8 years since I was last here. Eight years ago, there was an abundance of wildlife. Echidnas, kangaroos, emus, invertebrates. Now there's almost nothing. Do we need to revisit the fire strategies that we use? And it's probably not the root cause, but there's now prevalent evidence of feral pig destruction. There was none of that 8 years ago. Here we are. Looks like there's about half an hour before pickup, so I'm going to head back, grab that water bag. Actually going to go and grab some more dry kangaroo poo, some ember extender first for some stuff coming up later in the year, and I'll grab the water bag on the way back, and then quass on some coffee, I hope. So this is the stuff you want. It's bleached, it's very, very light, means there's no moisture in it. You don't want anything that's soft and doughy, and certainly nothing that's still warm. But this is the gear. This is the good stuff. This one you can squish and it won't fall apart. Probably no good. Give it a crack if you had to. This one, squish, and it's quite friable. So that's all those little cellulose fibres that'll form an ember quite readily. All right.